Alrighty, we are recording.
All right. Going in 3, 2, 1. What it is, what is good, what it is, what is good, what is... Oh, I forgot my freaking... Okay, cut it out. Stop.
Yeah.
We'll start over.
Yeah, restart over. One thing, I did change the game night again on the freaking outline. So
Lord. Okay.
I moved it to Wednesdays because I have a Kaiser weight management meeting on Tuesdays, so I can't show up right at 6, and so...
All right, Wednesdays is fine.
I'm going to try every night of the week.
Okay, so we're doing Wednesday for game night then? Okay.
Yeah, if that's
same time?
Same time, 6 o'clock.
Same bat channel.
Okay.
Yep. And I'm not changing it again.
Until you do.
Until I do, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm ready.
All right.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. What it is, what is up, what is good, gamers? This is Shonuff71, a.k.a. Dick.
Purple bling bling, yo. Don't forget, PSO2. It's so bad.
And your auditory canals are tuned into episode 255 of the Gaming Vessels podcast. And of course, I'm not in the digital studio alone. Along with me, I got my partners in crime. First on deck, it's Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Lover.
That's me.
A.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that Gamer Stepdaddy. How's it going, friend?
Doing pretty good. Just woke up for a good nap. So yeah, I'm here to chat, talk about games. I played host to Jabroni Chief, as this weekend is his birthday weekend. So he came up and hung out, ate too much. He got some shirts and a hat. Went to Comic-Con and I got him some stuff, and Comic-Con was great. Got to see some stuff, and it was fun. I actually got you something too, Kev. I got you a Double Dragon pin. It's the classic. I gave it to Joe. The way if you see him, he can give it to you. But it's the classic poster, but it's like an enamel pin. You know, it's a big rectangle.
It's the classic NES Trade West box.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I saw
Thank
it,
you.
and I saw it in this bright red, and I was like, and I was like, okay. So yeah, I had to get that.
You know, the dreaded $80 NES version of Double Dragon that was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still,
a major disappointment in my early gaming years.
but I have to say that cover slapped. So I was like,
oh yeah.
So you know, it's like the opposite of the Mega Man effect. So I was like, okay. So, but yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I was happy to, like I said, I was happy to host Joe and have him hanging around before I start my new job tomorrow. I'm gainfully employed again with the city of San Francisco MTA, Municipal Transit Authority. So I'm not a fare checker or anything like that. So I'm an assistant manager in a new department they're doing. So I'm excited. It'll get me out of the house because I finished my master's degree at the end of 2023, and I've just been looking for a job since then. So, but yeah, I'm happy to be starting. It's going to be a commute, but the commute's not going to be too bad because I could just I live right close to a BART station. So I BART in, and the office that I'm going to is not too far from a BART station. So I couldn't have planned it any better. So
got all your devices ready to roll?
I do. I got all my new hire paperwork ready to go. I got my bag ready to go. I got my school clothes all out. My school clothes. So
I'm talking about those devices that will kill time on your way en route and way back.
Yeah,
so
it'll be like 45 minutes to an hour both ways. So I'll have some time to sit and chill on the train. Hopefully I get a seat. So, and it's not next to someone who is super crazy, and I can just chill out.
I doubt you're gonna rock any Steam Deck on your commute, but maybe your Ambernick.
I might bring my Ambernick and my Switch.
Got it.
Those are the two systems that I'm probably gonna bring. So, but I'll definitely let you know how that first week went. We'll talk to you next week. But
Yeah.
But all I can say is I'm happy to be back. It was a lot of fun, at Comic-Con, and it was a lot of fun hanging with Joe. So yeah, pretty good.
Okay. And of course, our show's a no-go without Trader Joe, aka Jabroni Chief.
Yeah. That's me. 1 year older. One more year closer to the grave.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. How's it going, dude?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's good. Just got home, like Des said. So I maximize my gaming value by not being in a car and driving. I ride the train always when I go up and see Des. So it's always busting up with some media stuff. This time I just kind of rolled and did Steam Deck pretty much almost all the way, both ways. So enjoyed myself quite a bit too. So, but birthday was good. Always love hanging around with my buddy. So we were gonna go check out this place called Round One, and it was good. It was decent, but yeah, we decided not to I was gonna do all my birthday festivities there and stuff. So this is like this kind of kiddie-ish, hey, this is Japanese arcades and all this sort of stuff. It's like it's a step up from like Chuck E. Cheese. It's like maybe wants to be like Dave and Buster's, but I think more chill and relaxed. So. And I think at one point, I think I might, go for a night at Round One, Des, when
We should.
when we're in more of a spirit to be able to go in and do some karaoke and or bowling and or billiards and or arcade games. And
Yeah,
they had
they
a
had
Street Fighter
games.
6 arcade machine, so they had a few things there. So
With the new characters, with like Bison and all that, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay. Some guy was actually playing it, so I was like, oh, cool.
yeah.
So it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, Round One it's kind of cool because what they're doing is they're kind of taking all this empty space left by these malls and they're going in and just putting these big, big rec centers for, older kids and adults basically. So
That's nice.
yeah, that's cool.
Giving the youth something to do.
Yeah, get these malls all out. I don't think I'll ever bring. Me and Des were kind of lamenting the fact that I don't think I'll ever walk in and play a single player arcade game like an action adventure game ever again.
No.
But yeah,
No.
sad
Unfortunate
aspect. So
maybe unless you're going to one of those like Galloping Ghost or something like that.
Oh, I know. That's kind of
I don't
like
think we have any of those here.
Yeah. Oh, I did. Just a comment too. I did go to California Extreme last weekend too. So that was yet again another like collectors all bring their machines out, pinball, arcade machines. So I got to play a lot of different coin ops. I totally forgot about it because it's busy with this birthday business. But yeah, I got to play a lot of old coin ops again. Played some pinball and just had a good old time with my friends Nick and Dom. So that was another trip I took. So just been kind of busy since our last episode. So.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. All right then. So that leads us to what is always our first topic on the docket, and that's going to be our playlist to summer backlog update. So let's kick things off with the birthday man himself, Jabroni Chief. What you been up to?
As far as my summer backlog blowout, I'm blowing it out. I am not even in neutral. I'm in park. It's all the games I put down in the Discord saying, I'm going to play this game and this game and this game. Guess what? No way, Jose. So I am back to usual stuff. So it's been Diablo 4. I even want to go back and jump into EDF 6 because I know that's one game you've been playing, Kev, and I have not even done that as of yet. So, but yeah, Diablo 4, I know that my seasonal character is soon to be sunsetted. I should be able to bring him over to my main game. Then from there, but,
yeah, they automatically become eternal after the season is over. So.
Yeah, so that's good at least. So, but whether I create a new seasonal character or kind of get on, I think I want to get on with my summer backlog games.
No,
so
take your time. Take your time.
No.
Yes, I need that discounted or free Malibu chicken. So yeah.
Are you shooting for the Devil Malibu chicken and all the free, like,
The scrimps. The
scrimps, all you can eat scrimps, and that cheese toast, that wonderful cheese toast?
Nah, I want you to play, Joe. I want you to play. I want you to get in there and start playing it.
All
Start playing
right,
your
you
stuff.
got it. Actually, I was thinking about switching some games, so I don't know. I'll let you guys know on this show as far as if I decide to do something other than the first 5 or 6 games I kind of selected.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tempted by that Jean d'Arc game that just dropped on PlayStation Plus Premium, the PSP game that is part of the PlayStation Plus package. So, but and also, yeah, I got back into Tiny Tina's for a little bit, and so I'm actually passed through all my like side quests, and so I started pushing forward with the main campaign. But I know since I already kind of cleaned up my side quest, I think I might stop at this point and jump back into my backlog games. So, and then on my train ride back and forth this weekend, I was back on my Steam Deck, back playing Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, and I am enjoying that. I have not played a good old school JRPG in a while, and it just seems like this is the game I gravitate towards when I travel. And so I just need to make some forward progress. It might be something where I might pause too on this so I could get to my summer backlog games as well. But I definitely want to go through all the Trails games, and that's going to be like probably a year to 2 year project to be able to go through all the Trails games.
That's a very big ask, dude. So
It's a very big ask, but
it's like doing all the Atelier games. Like, think about it.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm enjoying Trails in the Sky. It has a whimsical. It's giving me some Grandia 1 vibes, which I just totally just digging and loving. So just it brings back those times when I was a youth, like back in the 90s, and playing like Final Fantasy or Dragon Warrior or Phantasy Star for the first time. So that's just kind of bringing back those feelings. So where you want to go and actually talk to everyone in town and enjoy the actual the game system as far as the attack system, because once you get a good JRPG and get it synced into as far as the battle system can be so much fun. So I gotta say about the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. But that's it for me for the last couple of weeks. I mean, California Extreme, I'll just kind of aside maybe add a little bit more mustard on the hot dog is that I got to play like a lot of like the pinball games I got a chance to play. I played a lot of the old like 70s Atari pinball games, which I only played sparingly back when I was a kid. They had the Superman arcade machine. They had the big ass Hercules Atari pinball machine, which is gigantic if you ever seen it, but it played like crap. So I didn't play with that, but got to play like an old Capcom game I never played before called Speed Rumbler. That kind of was like an overhead like arcade racer / shooter, which I actually think if I could find this on like one of those arcade archives that Capcom has placed out, I might go back and fire that up. As far as the older games, I played like Joust Pinball, which I never saw before prior to seeing it at California Extreme. It might have been a prototype that never got released, but it's like a 2-player machine that's like in a cocktail table format. And then I played Marble Madness 2 for the first time too. So that was an Atari Games like old school coin-op that I never knew they made a sequel to. So it's the first time I've ever seen it or knew about it. So it's kind of crazy in a way. So I played Marble Madness like a lot when I was a kid at the arcade. So, and what else? They had like Asteroids Recharged arcade machine, which kind of got me into. I actually picked up and bought Asteroids Recharge on PlayStation 5, and I didn't put it on my playlist, but I did play for a little bit, and so kind of brought back those old arcade feelings a bit. But always enjoy going to California Extreme. I played Vectrex for the first time too, so that was interesting. So because Vectrex was always the system I saw at Toys R Us in the trophy case, but I could never justify asking my parents to go buy it on top of my systems. Because back when I was a kid, I had one system. You don't have multiple systems, so So if I want another system, then the parents have to go and like box up the system you have and return it to the store years after the fact and trade in.
And they
Return.
did do that.
They did do that, yes. But that's my California Extreme report. If you want to check out more, I did post some pictures on the Discord. So if you're definitely not a member of our Discord, Kevin will tell you at the end of the show how to sign up for that. But Des, what you been playing these last couple of weeks? What you been dedicated your gaming towards?
Sea of Stars. That's it. I have been Sea of Stars. I am into it. I'm loving it. I am trying to finish it. It's one of my games, backlog games. I'm more than 20 hours into it. It's been fun the whole time. I've talked about this on prior shows, so I keep it short and sweet. If you haven't played it yet, please do. It is a classic. It's a classic game, but with like new sensibilities, and by that I mean there's a lot more stuff that you can do in it, like the verticality and climbing and jumping off stuff, and the puzzling, and no random encounters. You can see everyone, before you engage with them or not. You can actually turn off random encounters if you want. It's just a lot of accessibility stuff in it that is just fantastic. So it is a great game. Go play it, go buy it, go support it. It's fantastic. So I should be beating this soon. I don't know, because the new job, I will have to be playing it in the evening. So it shouldn't be a problem, but I definitely will keep you abreast, because I think to my knowledge, Kev has actually beat one of his games. So Kevin is in the lead right now. I'm at a close second, and Joe is still putting at the starting line. So we'll let you know what's going on. I know you're just chomping at the bit to see who wins. So, but that's all I've been playing, really. So, Kev, I see your list, and you've been really taking some time to play. Like, Kevin's not holding back. Damn. Okay.
No, it's I've been sick this past week.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah. Not sick enough to stay home from work, but not. It's one of those. It's kind of like the lingering effects of something else. I think it was, and I'm still kind of fighting it off. So, but yeah, I did have for whatever reason, have a little bit more time to play. I'll kick things off first with I had to put kick one game to the curb. It's hitting the bay very soon, and that was my Muso game based off the Fate Stay Night series, Samurai Remnant or Fate Remnant, whatever it's called. I committed the unforgivable sin for me in action games, which is having you fight a boss in which the only way to beat him or her is to be maxed out on curables and meter boosters. Literally, when you fight this dude, and it's not an avoidable fight. It's not a side quest or anything. So you have to fight this guy. Literally, what you have to do is be fully maxed out on your meter boosters, which boost your link meter between you and Saber. And you have to be fully maxed out on every classification of curable that you have, because your regular attacks, no matter what stance you're using, no matter what combo you're using, do not affect him in any way, which makes him stand out from any other bosses that you fight, even the Berserker, which is this Hulk-sized servant that you have to fight. You can even damage him. You can't damage this dude who is just literally if you crossed a ballerina and an archer, that's what this dude is. He's just literally kind of pirouetting around the screen, shooting you with magical arrows, and you cannot do any damage to him at all. When Saber is attacking, when you're not controlling her attacks do absolutely nothing. The only way that you can do damage to him is to have Saber's link meter fully charged, where you take control of her and execute combos on her. Not even your special attacks do any damage. So you're constantly dodging his constant arrows. You are taking curables and taking those items that boost your meter back to maximum whenever you use it. And because of where I was at my save point, I can't go back into the town and stock up on those curables. And I don't feel I should have to reload an older save state, redo all that stuff, stock up on it, and then do the fight again. I think that's lazy.
Yep.
And it's poor game design. And I was just so frustrated, and because I was really really enjoying the game. I thought it has a decent story. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a Muso, or Muso light, I would say. But this is just making things difficult for the sake of making things difficult, and having you utilize something. It's not making you go back and utilize the tools that they've given you before. It's not even a boss review, which is also lazy. It's just, well, let's just make this guy. We want to make this guy super hard, but yeah, you have to be fully stocked on curables and meter boosters, and ain't nobody got time for that over here. Not with action games. And then this was just. I just don't feel like this game deserves any more of my time. So this was going up on the Bay, but to replace that, I went back to Sonic Frontier because my original plan was to start Sonic Frontier over, because I honestly could not remember where I was supposed to go. I know I am on a new island, and I just I just couldn't remember where I was supposed to go. Well, luckily for me, it was just a few minutes of just kind of using having Sonic do Sonic stuff, and it opened up the fog of war areas of the map as to where I needed to go. So that saved me a whole bunch of time, so I could pick up where I left off. I have Sonic Frontier on Xbox, so I think this has got to be, I don't even know how long it's been since I turned on the Series X, but I'm playing that. Sonic Frontier, very underrated 3D platformer. It's fun. It does have its flaws, which have been stated by many folks, including myself, but I would really like to see future Sonic games follow the basic formula of Sonic Frontier. The boss battles, how they integrate some of previous Sonic game levels into the boss battles, I think is a stroke of genius. And I don't think this game gets nearly enough credit that it deserves. The engine does have its limitations, which are prevalent. A lot of pop in. If you're running at Sonic super speed when you max out his rings, stuff kind of pops up in your way that really shouldn't happen, because these systems are powerful enough to where pop in should not be a thing. But I think it's the age and the limitations of the engine that Sega was using when they made this game. So I get it, but yeah, Sonic Frontier is an amazing 3D platformer. I think you can get it now for a song and a dance. I'm pretty sure if it's not on some service by now, definitely worth playing. And since I had the Xbox going on, I called in a voucher, a 1-month voucher for Game Pass, and I downloaded Flintlock and started playing that. So I'm about maybe an hour and a half into Flintlock, and the Chutosphere is chewing this game a new one, I think for all the wrong reasons. But what this game, I think the things that they're focusing on, like what company was or was not utilized as as consultation. What they should be criticizing the game on are the mechanics. I think the mechanics at its core are solid, but they do this thing where the whole premise is that you have a spirit animal named Inky, who is this kind of like this cross, this not a cross, but he's like a large fox. And he can do things like help you jump through these spirit portals, and he can also help you in attacking enemies. The problem is that they have linked Inky's attacks to the same button that you use for your melee attack. So basically, they use that button as a modifier. You have to hold that button and then hit a face button. I think in using the standard, and that's something else. The default button settings of this game are trash because they have your firearm and your melee button linked to the LB and RB of the Xbox controller. Those are not even, I don't even consider those actual buttons. They're practically or useful buttons when you think of a controller. They're closer to mouse click buttons. That's what they feel like to me. And using those as your primary means of attack suck. There's no tactile feedback at all. And I didn't go into the menu to see if they can be changed. I'm assuming that they can be, but I just feel that this was just, again, poor design on the part of the when they were setting up how you were going to lay this out on the controller. It's like they did not. It's almost like they put all the buttons on a roulette wheel and just threw a little plastic ball in to see what button was going to do what, because I don't see any kind of forethought put into this whatsoever. I think design wise, it is definitely Souls inspired. The combat is not as intense. One thing that I do kind of appreciate is the firearm is has much higher utility than it does, say, in Bloodborne, which if you time the firearm right in Bloodborne, I mean, Bloodborne is a much better game. I don't mean to put these two games in the same in the same sphere, in the same zone of each other, because they are not. While Bloodborne was well thought out, a definite Souls game, this game, I mean, both in its button usage, layout, and function, this game can't even hold a candle to it. But what they've done is, I think, made an accessible, and I think, Des, that was your impression, I think, that you gave when you first started seeing gameplay of Flintlock, and I think you're 100% right. It is an approachable Souls game. The story, and this is kind of where the Chutosphere is losing its mind, because they're saying that that this is like a critique of colonialism and it's anti-white person. I don't know where they're seeing this. Literally, you're fighting an enemy called the Dead.
Yep,
and
they're dead people.
Guess what they are? They are dead folk.
Yep.
From behind the spirit wall veil that they blow up in an attempt to fight back the dead, and they all come through. Now, I don't know, unless there is some sort of story exposition that takes place later on in the game, I'm just seeing a whole bunch of zombies on the screen. I'm not seeing any representations of colonialism. I'm not seeing any anti-white rhetoric.
She's too melanated.
Yeah, exactly.
Too melanated.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Exactly. Exactly.
Even the wolf is too melanated for them.
Yeah. Yeah. You're 100% right. I don't understand where the critique. I'm like I do because they dare to use Kim Belair's "Sweet Baby" in consultation for this game, and of course, whenever you use a narrative consultation company, they're responsible for everything that goes on in the game.
Yeah, they literally make the game for you.
They literally take over all aspects of production. So I what is my initial, and I'm not calling this a review, these are initial impressions. Is it worth buying? I would say if you can catch it on sale. If I think Trader Joe was mentioning that this game might be in limited physical production run, so waiting until something like Black Friday might not pan out for you, depending on how many physical copies that they minted on console.
You never know. You could just basically get a code and just wait for it to get discounted digitally as well. Do it that way.
You can do it that way. Collector. Yeah. Because like I'm a physical collector, definitely. Otherwise, do I think it's worth getting a Game Pass code and checking the game out? I think so. I think there's an interesting enough story. I think the character design is interesting enough. Is it the best character design that I've seen that in all my days of gaming? No, it's not. But I think it's good enough. They kind of gave everybody kind of like a French Legionnaire uniform look, which is something you don't see every day, and I thought that was kind of intriguing. But I think it's an okay game. Definitely not an award winner, but it has nothing to do with who did the consulting. It has to do with the mechanics that they employed in the game, primarily that default button loadout, which seems like absolutely no forethought was put into it at all. So if you're going to criticize the game for anything, it should be that.
Yeah.
The other game that I downloaded but have not had an opportunity to try yet is Path of the Goddess. So I'll have more to say on that game next week, hopefully. Helldivers 2 has been fun. I've been making some headway in that. Well, not necessarily headway, but just running around killing bugs. I've got the loadout that I want to use for automatons ready to go. It's just like I think the only other thing I want to do now is gain access to the grenade pistol, because there is a specific loadout using the latest support weapon, which is what they call the Commander, which is really interesting. If y'all remember the old school Schwarzenegger movie Commando,
yeah,
this support weapon looks exactly like that, and I think that's why they call it the Commander, because it's dead on that 4 rocket launcher that Arnie was utilizing in that movie. And it's if you team it up with the right primary weapon and the proper sidearm, it's great for taking down Bile Titans. So I really want to try that loadout on the difficulties, and I'm kind of bouncing around on the bug planets before I move over and start fighting the bots. And so the last game that I've been playing is EDF 6, which is freaking phenomenal. If you have a history with EDF, you already know what to expect. If you're looking for grade A graphics, this is not where you're going to find it. If you're looking for a story, this is Sci-Fi Channel nonsense all day. And when I say Sci-Fi Channel nonsense, I'm talking like Sharknado level nonsense. It is just ridiculousness all day, every day. But this game is such a blast to play. I am 14 missions deep in the game already, and I'm having a blast, man. I am playing a category that I've never utilized fully before. That is the air raider. They gave the air raider access to drones, which are these things must have been designed by Skynet, because they just kill everything. They kill everything. It is the drone, and the drones are so fun to use because you just peg a target with a signal beacon, and they just fly out and just destroy it. I've got several different drone types. I've got one called the sniper drone, which is like it is literally death from above, because no matter what the target is, if it's on the screen, it can be hit with the sniper. When they say sniper, they ain't joking. Like if I don't care how far away that target, when that reticle turns red and you hit the shoot button, that beacon will hit it, and that drone just flies off at supersonic speed, flies I don't know how far above the target, and it's like one shot, one kill. It almost, unless you're fighting a boss, whatever it hits just blows up in a massive destruction explosion display. I'm fighting frogs. I'm giant frogs in exosuits. I'm fighting giant bobble-headed androids that blow up in purple and green, gushy, ridiculous. Dude, I think this is by far, at this point in the game, as much as I enjoyed EDF 5, I think EDF 6 is that much better. It's.
Wow.
Are you doing the same thing? Yeah. Are there probably the same weapons in the game? Probably a lot of it, yes. I'm sure it is. But the premise with you being in an already destroyed city, trying 3 years after the events of EDF 5, and while the rhetoric is, and you're not even really an EDF member, because EDF proper has been wiped out. In between the events of EDF 5 and EDF 6, EDF proper, the Earth Defense Force, has been completely wiped out because the aliens came back, and we're just there was another war, and we're just kind of dealing with the remnants of that, which to me, it's like they never left, because you're still getting hit by swarms and swarms of stuff. The game is just, oh man, I would highly encourage anybody, if any of what I have said about this game strikes you as even slightly interesting, just download it. Don't wait for a sale. These 3D publisher, I think that's the name of it, the company that makes EDF. D3.
Yeah.
D3 deserves your money. It's not even a full price game as modern full prices go, I don't think. But dude, EDF 6 is just freaking phenomenal. The last thing that I will mention is, and I didn't even know this was out until I heard about it on my YouTube stream. So I guess there was, I don't even know if this is a reboot or if it is a continuation of Batman the Animated Series. I'm not sure which it is. I know the Chutosphere has been again giving itself a coronary yapping about this. I watched the first 7 episodes.
No spoilers.
No, I'm not going to spoil it.
We watched the first 4, me and
Okay.
Des, so
It was really good.
It's good, but I see the Chutosphere's point of view in this one. I definitely do, because they made decisions that were just dumb. What they did to the Penguin is a sin and a shame. I'm sorry. It's stupid and lazy and lame. I don't like what they did with the Penguin. I like the story behind the Penguin. I like what they an aspect that I never thought that they would apply to the Penguin savagery. I mean, we always knew he was Cobblepot was a bad guy. I never thought he would stoop to what he did in the first episode. Because I'm still going to refer to the Penguin as he, because what they showed was not that's the dude. I don't care what nobody say. The stories were good. When the folks were saying, "Oh, you call it Batman, and Batman's not in any of the episodes," that's a straight up lie. Batman is in every episode, but he's doing what, as I understand the comic, he's doing what he was trained mostly to do, and that's being a detective. He's going into places, collecting evidence, looking at him. Yeah, is he fighting dudes and putting folks in check? Yeah, he's doing that a lot.
A lot.
But he's also they also demonstrate his detective side. I don't like the design that they gave the butler. What's his butler's name?
Alfred.
Alfred. That's just stupid. I mean, wasn't he like member of English Special Forces or something like that?
The original one was.
Yeah, he's not going to be He's two Dunkin' Donuts away from a coronary. He's not going to be looking like that. I don't care how old he is as a Special Forces retiree, which was just stupid. But does it hold a candle to the original series? No. But are the stories good? Yes. But again, it's not everything is black and white. They made some sexuality changes that I thought were stupid and lame. They made some race swaps, which I think have been done before in either prior animated series or comics. So I can kind of sort of let that slide by. I don't think that stuff is necessary. But what they did to the Penguin was just blasphemous. And again, as someone who is not even really picked up a comic book in the past 30 years, was kind of a casual Batman fan as far as the DC IPs were concerned. This, as much as they got me to care about Superman in my adventures of Superman, this one, it didn't make it's almost kind of like the reverse, which is kind of odd. I don't think the same team were developed these two shows, but both shows are good. But I think My Adventures of Superman is just way better. Even with the changes that they made in My Adventures, you still care. I think you still care about the characters. The changes that they made were just not so outrageous, but my gosh, man, they did Penguin so terribly in the show. I can see why folks were bent out of shape about it, honestly. But that's going to do it for my couple weeks of gaming and viewing entertainment. So we're going to kick it over to our main event. So Des, you got the mic, my friend.
All righty. Excuse me, I was putting in the time so I can do the edits later. But yeah, we are back with it's actually the Vessel line, which is great because we asked the question last week. Well, 2 weeks ago, we asked the question, and we wanted to. The question was, what or who got you into video games in the first place? Was it a parent, best friend, or a shiny arcade cabinet? Let us know your comments, and we will talk about them on our next show. So we got some really good responses. So John BT, longtime listener and commenter, says, my father was always interested in video games and bought a Pong system really early. Later, he got me an Atari 2600, which was what really got me into gaming, along with an Intellivision my uncle got me. Wow. Those initial systems shaped my childhood and influenced the friends I met as I hung out with other kids with game systems. Better systems and computers were in my future, but those initial systems started it all. Yeah, things for great parents actually, like, caving in and getting them, getting their kids something that's going to keep them inside. You don't just want to send them outside. You're just like, go outside, get outside. But yes, I totally understand with the Atari 2600. Uh, a new listener, VB, thank you, VB, says Christmas 1979, Atari 2600 started with Space Invaders and Missile Command. Yes, old school classics. The timeline is fuzzy, but Pitfall, Pac-Man, and Kaboom with the cool paddles all followed, and this girl never looked back. Yes. Okay, Phoebe, I am there with you for Space Invaders, Missile Command, definitely Pitfall. I played the crap out of Pitfall.
Me too.
Yeah, I figured you played a lot of Pitfall. You seem like the type that would be crazy with Pitfall. Did you play any of these games, Kevin? Of course you did, right?
Pitfall, yes, I have Pitfall for Intellivision. Kaboom, no, because I never had a 2600. And by the time the ColecoVision attachment for the 2600 came out, I always told myself, I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it. They had it at Simon Says in the bargain basement for pennies on the dollar. And I told myself I was going to go and get one, never got around to it. That's why I don't have one.
I played plenty of Kaboom, so.
Yeah, I didn't play them because, like I said, my mom was like not really into it. She's like, no, you ain't gonna get it. Sorry. And I'm like, okay. So yeah. That's awesome. But thank you so much, VB, for joining us and commenting. Hope you continue to comment in the future. Crucial Chase says, it was having a good hobby at home that didn't require late nights, traveling, dirty toilets with no seats or weekly practices. But I do miss spin kicks and two steps. Oh, I see. This is what I'm talking about. See, Crucial Chase used it as a way to keep him out of the streets. Because I don't know if you know about Crucial Chase. Crucial Chase probably a bad boy when he was a kid. Run these streets. With his poop kickers on, getting into trouble.
He's commenting the fact that he was in bands and stuff.
It was a joke.
Yeah.
Okay. I know. I know. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Again, for me, it was just something that I got into because I did not want to play. I didn't want to freeze, but I just did not want to play piano, and I did not want to play the clarinet, and I did not want to play baseball. Because my mother was always like, when I was younger, you have to have an activity, but I fought her tooth and nail. So instead, I started playing games. So.
I tried to learn guitar when I was a kid, 14, 15, but I never went beyond playing Iron Man and Smoke on the Water as far as learning like chords and stuff. It's just like, I already had like an idea as far as a band I wanted to start. I was going to call it MI, which was going to stand for mentally incapable. Basically just.
There you go.
Yep.
I can see you doing it.
Yep. You see me screaming into the mic just like a jackass, but yeah.
Well, you still can,
Maybe in the second life, we'll see.
No, you can do it in this life. You're only a year older. Come on, only a year older, a couple decades removed, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I am still mentally incapable, so there you go.
So. Sheesh. Oh, Joe. Anyway, but yeah, thank you so much to everybody who took the time to write us, and just know that next time we come back, we will have another question. Also, if you're listening to an old episode and you want to answer a question that we talked about before, feel free to answer that question or say something in our Discord. We will definitely talk about it. We love to interact with our fans, with our game nights and our contests and stuff like that. So please stay with us and keep on rocking in the free world, as Joe would say. Last thing I want to say is if you have a question that you would like us to ask our listeners, please feel free to shoot it to us. Post it in the Discord. Shoot us an email. Discord would probably be better. And when you do so, or if you want to know how to do that, you can always, stay to the end, and Kevin will let you know how to do that. But You know what follows me? It's the Jabroni Game and News.
All right, thank you, Des.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay. So first thing I want to talk about, basically, and it was kind of a big bummer for everyone, but you kind of could see the handwriting on the wall, is that GameStop has shuttered the magazine Game Informer. So they basically went in, they had an all-employee meeting this last Friday, which was on August the 2nd, and basically told them they're shutting the magazine down on there. So
that's terrible.
So it came out of the blue. One of the editors was actually on assignment out, basically touring a company and getting some interviews for a story, and they didn't know. And it was so out of the blue that basically they shut down the entire Game Informer website. The blurb that they put on social media on X and on the GameInformer.com website was written by AI. So they basically just said, okay, we're going to kick everyone to the curb, give everyone severance package, and everyone is being laid off. So just kind of came out of the blue. So GameStop didn't immediately reply to a request for comment. GameStop CEO and Chairman Ryan Cohen said last year that, quote unquote, every expense at the company must be scrutinized under a Microsoft and all waste eliminated on there. So back in March, Game Informer introduced you to a way to subscribe to the magazine directly, like getting it physically and not getting it at GameStop or having to subscribe at a GameStop location. You basically, previous to that, you were only able to get it as part of your GameStop Pro membership on there. But yeah, it's pretty much got to pour one out. This is the last U.S. published console game magazine that is out there. I believe PC Gamer is still published by Future in a U.S. edition. But I'm a big magazine fan, and I've always been like kind of one to want to stick by with my print media as far as game journalism and game media is concerned. I just loved the fact of reading about games and learning more about games via magazines ever since I was a kid. So, and I've had a physical Game Informer subscription. In fact, my physical Game Informer subscription was due to run out like last month. In fact, I spent some time, I think last week, in fact, with GameStop.com's customer service trying to reset my password because of the fact that I was trying to renew my subscription and I wasn't able to get in. Well, I dodged a freaking bullet because I did not wind up resubscribing. I said, basically that I was just going to let this subscription lapse, read the magazine digitally, and if I felt like it, possibly, pick it up physically again with another subscription. But yeah, you got to kind of pour one out for them. They've been in business for 33 years. I mean, they were first started out, I kind of consider Game Informer to be kind of like a subpar magazine back in the day. I kind of consider it like kind of trashy, like GamePro a little bit. So I don't know if you guys like gaming magazines, but I was a big EGM and game fan enthusiast back in the day.
So was I. I read a lot of games at your house in the bathroom. So yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And then, of course, Next Gen and all the other like magazines, Game Players. And back in the 80s, I mean, there was even some magazines like Electronic Games that I really read a ton, so. But really and truly, if you go down to a newsstand, all you're going to see, like a bookstore like Barnes and Noble, you're going to see just a lot of UK magazines now, Official PlayStation Mag, Edge, Retro Gamer, all excellent magazines. And so if you feel the need to get your physical gaming itch on, by all means, there's still routes out there for you to do so. In fact, if you want to read those magazines digitally, you can subscribe for a semi-affordable price. Me right now, I'm digitally subscribing to all those through my local county library, which I am able to subscribe and read basically for free with my tax donation, my city and state tax I pay. So So, but any reaction from either of you two? I'll go with you, Kevin, first. I mean, I know game magazines probably are not top of the line for you, but I mean, any reminiscing about reading Game Informer at all?
Not really. I never got into Game Informer until maybe the past 5 years. That's when I got into Game Informer. My thing was Electronic Gaming Monthly, EGM, some of the ones that you mentioned before that have, long since gone away.
Game Fan, yeah.
Yeah, Game Fan. That's kind of sort of where my interest in getting information about gaming goings on. That's really like where that peaked when those magazines, even GamePro went through like a trashy, season, and towards the end, I thought this GamePro was really starting to get good.
Oh yeah, there's certain areas of GamePro that were like, oh my god, when they got some ex EGM editors there, that magazine just kind of turned from. Because I consider GamePros like GamePro back in when they first came out. I consider that like basically geared towards like kids.
Almost juvenile, yeah.
Yeah, and I was 19 when GamePro first came out because I'm old. And as soon as I saw GamePro,
probably wasn't too far behind you.
Yeah, I was like, piff, piff, piff. What's this crap?
But yeah, I don't like the way that some of what seemed to been key staff were informed. So I saw some of the posts that they put up on X.
Yeah,
like some of these guys were not even, and these were editor level, or maybe above. I don't know how publication seniority hierarchy is set up, but some of these names I know I've heard on the podcast, the Game Informer podcast that I used to listen to, and these guys did not know what was going on, like at all, and that I think is just what these companies, these corporations don't care about. They don't care about us, the customer. They don't care about the people that generate their money for them either. They just see them as a cog in the machine that when they feel needs to be replaced, they'll just replace it. I kind of wish that Game Informer could have turned into something else. I don't know what that something else could have been, because I think it was a reliable source of information, at least when I was made aware of it, when I got involved with it. And it's just sad to see what seemed to be good folks doing, games journalism, and we all know what gaming journalism is in 2024. That actually seem to actually do that, get kicked to the curb, and that's very sad. So hopefully they land on their feet in other areas.
Yeah, for sure. How about you, Des?
The same thing. I I read magazines a bunch. I had a couple of them that I actually kept around, but I did not I don't know. I just feel it's kind of sad. It just seems like whenever I see the death of an institution like this or something like that, it just kind of feels bad. It's just like ugh.
Like when Wizard went out of business or something, right?
Yeah. And I know you can you see this stuff online and stuff like that, but at the same time, it just seems bad. It just feels bad.
Yeah. So. And one thing about game magazines, for me at least, is I love the fact that, especially if they're working on an exclusive for like a month, as far as for a cover, where they would have the reveal of the game in the magazine, like a world premiere type of thing, like back in the day before Keeley came around and whatnot, that's how sometimes that new games would be unveiled with a feature in a magazine and be able to be placed on the front cover. Hey, this new game is being worked on, and have like 5, 6, 7 pages of interviews with the director and the creative forces behind the game to be able to understand, okay, what is this game? What is this game about? So on and so forth. Kind of fed that hype machine a little bit, So that's what I miss about game magazines, it seems like, because I'm able to discover, unexpectedly through just reading the magazine on a month-to-month basis, as far as seeing new games be kind of given a shine on. So it's just a little bit different touch on there. I know some of the editors actually were commenting on X too, that they weren't able even to go on to their mainframe to back up their prior work on there before they got banned out of the access to the server with their information. So
And that's messed up. It's like if they don't have their work saved independently, it's like if a future employer wants to see what you've done in the past, there's no place where they can get that information for them, it seems.
Yeah. And guess what? GameStop has physical Game Informer magazines, which they have been selling at the locations. They're right now buy one, get one for free right now. So if you want to go buy some Game Informer magazines from GameStop, I seriously I would say don't give GameStop your money. So I just renewed my Game Power Pro membership, so I am still going to frequent GameStop, but I'm thinking once this year bid I just signed up for is over, I'm gonna give up the ghost, and we'll see if GameStop actually lasts that long. They probably will, but GameStop basically became Spencer's Gifts with some games on the side. So
all they need to do now is just start adding bongs to the list of things that they already sell.
Oh, now they sell graded cards and comics too. So that's what they're angling for, anything they could make a little money on. So that pour one out for Game Informer. So. All right, next thing we want to talk about is Bungie. Bungie basically announced another round of layoffs. So, and remember when we talked about maybe about a month ago that Destiny 3 might be coming around. Well, guess what? There's no Destiny 3. So, basically back when Sony acquired Bungie for $3.6 billion. The deal repeatedly stressed that Destiny developer would continue to remain independent and operate adjacent to the PlayStation studios that kind of are comparable to them rather than underneath it. But what happened is that Pete Parsons, the CEO of Bungie, basically overpromised and almost was deceitful in a way, basically telling Sony as far as what they were actually up to. They were over promising and under delivering on there. So almost like I would dare say it, some people are kind of commenting that it's some fraud possibly involved. But what's going on right now is even with the Final Shape, the expansion for Destiny 2 that just came out recently, no matter if it was super successful, these current layoffs were still going to occur just because of the fact that the game is not making as much money for Bungie anymore as it had been in the past. Even though Final Shape got very good kudos, very good reviews, being better than Lightfall, the last expansion, the sales still haven't made up for that particular upgrade in quality on there. So in fact, with these recent layoffs, Bungie has announced that there will be no more yearly expansions for Destiny 2, that they're going to keep the game going on a narrative basis, but they are going to just do month-to-month updates for the game. So there's a lot of things going on, but there's rumors right now that Sony is going to come in and Herman Hulst is going to take control of the studio, and it's going to be just like any other studio under the PlayStation Studios head on there, and they're going to have to report to Herman Hulst now. So they think that's going to happen in due time. So, but they did fire 220 employees. Further 150 were reallocated to roles elsewhere within Sony. And there's a 40 people that are in the process of establishing a new studio within SIE right now. They're going to be working on a game for Sony, what they're developing on. And we'll have to take a look and see what happens. Then from there, I know as far as the canceled game that was rumored to be Destiny 3 was actually codenamed Payback. And this was supposed to be Bungie's canceled third-person Destiny spin-off, so it took some inspiration from Warframe and Genshin Impact. So imagine mashing up Destiny with Warframe and Genshin Impact. It just seems like, it's like instead of leading, they're kind of following the trends, it seems like, on there. So Jason Schreier was reporting that Payback was in a quote-unquote incubation project that was supposed to be set in the Destiny universe. So that rumored Destiny 3 was never in motion on there. So according to Schreier's report, the game would allow players to use the franchise's characters to explore a large world by cooperating to battle monsters and solve puzzles on there. So I don't know if that is kind of commingling with what you wanted to do to play, but I know that Bungie veterans Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy were working on the project as well. And so they've been fired. They've been let go on there. Bungie's going to put like most of their chips on that Marathon game, that remake that they announced a few years ago. And we'll see if it actually comes up to any sort of fruition on there. Kev, what's your overall opinion as far as Bungie, and you think they're being deceitful as a company?
Well, when your CEO flexes his classic car collection, 48 hours before the pink slips get sent out, that is being deceitful. It's like, it makes me wonder what these funds were actually really being used for. I mean, I'm not going to suggest that. Well, yeah, I guess I am suggesting that some personal gain was utilized by this purchase. You mean that $2 million that you spent on on classic cars? Some kind of way, I feel that could have been better spent keeping the people that actually produce something for you, keeping them employed. Or if not that, if the end was inevitable, making the separation from employment a little bit more digestible. It seems very crass to me. And typical CEO. I think maybe when you become a CEO, some of these folks sign away their soul, sign away their heart, whatever aspect of them that makes them a decent human being gets put up as an offering to some dark entity, because I just don't know how you could do that. It's like, okay, hey y'all, come check out my 1970 Plymouth AAR CUDA that I spent I don't know $220,000 on. Isn't it super cool and keen? And check out this, that, the third. And then literally 48 hours, you give these people their walking papers. Makes no sense to me.
I know
makes
that
no sense to me.
Someone else on social media, ex-Bungie employee, said that if they were desperate to get the Sony merger done, because if they didn't get the Sony merger done, they're looking at possible bankruptcy. So they were desperate to get bought, and then they were just basically pulling out that leg and saying, "Look at me, Sony."
So it's almost like they were just looking for a payday.
Yeah.
Just give me some money so I can walk away with a big wad, and everybody else could just kick rocks. It's almost like what happens it's almost like what happens in a pyramid scheme. It's like when the rug gets pulled out, it's the folks that are actually building the business that get hurt. It's not the people at the top. They already been paid out. It's crazy.
Yeah. And the thing about Destiny is that that game had magic to it, at least at the beginning for me, at least. And so it's like, unfortunately, it's kind of going away like a sheep in the night or something. It's just kind of going away.
And the thing is that it's not as if Bungie wasn't a talented studio.
No.
They were. As much grief as I gave Destiny 2, I can't say that I did not get my money's worth out of both Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. I can't say that. Did I feel the game turned to crap when I walked away from it? Yes, I did. Yes, I do. But I can't say that I did not get my money's worth of enjoyment from those two titles. I can't say that. And they're also the folks that created Halo, because believe it or not, folks, there was a time when Halo was good. And they're the studio that was responsible for that. It's I think it's greed, deception, and a lack of caring and responsibility for the people that put in the work for you.
Agreed.
Any thoughts, Des, or pretty much what we kind of...
What you covered is pretty much exactly what I was thinking. It's just a very unfortunate it's a very unfortunate time when Bungie's got to kind of come in and do the same things, and just like, I get it. They're trying to get stuff in. They're trying to keep people doing their stuff, but at the same time, it's like, where's the other backing that's coming from them? Like, I can't imagine that Destiny is doing so poorly, that this one has to, I don't know, part of it just makes me sad, and another part of it is just kind of like, wow, this is where we're at now. I don't know. It makes me kind of scared for new games to kind of pop in, because I don't know. It seems like people are not willing to stick with games anymore, and I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive because Destiny, like, they stayed in for a pretty long time, but at the same time, I was just like, come on, guys, what's the end game? I honestly think it was because they waited too long with bringing us the next Destiny game. I think they bought into that live model so strongly that they just didn't have anything else that they could bring to the table, and
they should have counted the 3. They should have.
Well, the thing is, I think they tried to diversify a little too late, because they had a great thing with Destiny, but the problem was they circled the wagons a little too close, and they never expanded. They never expanded, and this is why I think this is what happened. They rode it till the wheels fell off, and they've fallen off, and now this is what they have to do, and I just don't like that. That they really put forth so much effort for this model, and in the hopes that it would work, but as Kevin has said multiple times, people want to play good games. If you put out good games, people will come, and I think they just forgot about it, or they're just trying to appease their shareholders or something. But I just, like, I feel bad for them, but at the same time, it's like they kind of did this to themselves, So, but that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I know. In an interview with Stephen Totillo, this one source that he talked to us basically said, I think Sony overpaid for Bungie. I think Bungie sold things they were not able to deliver on there.
He's not wrong.
According to 3 former Bungie sources, Bungie's leaders, quote unquote, overstated their studio's financial prospects to Sony, and that Wednesday's cuts were needed to stop continued losses that amounted to an ongoing reality check. Basically, was what was stated. So yeah.
Sounds like this guy needs to be brought up on charges. It really does sort of sound like that. Is if you're overstating isn't that the corporate way, corporate speak for lying? I
Uh,
I don't know. I'm not in that world.
I mean, he
Where
basically,
does the line of overstating, overestimating, and just straight up lying come into play? What's that range?
I think I think it just happened was they tried to make themselves look good on paper, and by doing that, they just kind of overshot themselves. I think honestly, that's kind of what happened, and I do believe that that's probably what they're talking about. They were like, oh, we want you to, we want you to, this is what we could do for you, and this is what we have going, and I think uh at the time that they were doing it, like they were the time that they were being acquired, I do think that Bungie had probably a lot of looked very good on paper. So I don't know how much they could have extended because they were like, Destiny 2 was doing great. People were playing it. It had a robust player count. So I just think that they relied on Destiny 2 a little bit too much. And I think that was the main problem was they thought that they created a game and they were like, okay, now we can just sit back and watch the cash roll in. And I'm like, no, that is not at all what you're gonna need to do. You're gonna need to stick with it and be better. And they just didn't. They just
And
There
didn't.
one,
needs to be constant content rolling out for it.
Mm-hmm. At least something because right now it ain't working.
yeah,
Not at
it's
all.
not. Out of the 3.6 billion that was used to buy Bungie, Sony put up 1.2 billion to retain employees
Ugh.
when they purchased it. And
There you
yeah, you
go.
see where all that employee retention remains at,
There you go.
obviously.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I was talking about. That's where it went.
When people have pointed out too, it's like Bethesda only cost Microsoft like $7.5 billion. I mean, would you rather have Bethesda or would you rather have Bungie? I mean, apples and oranges, mind you, but
Mm.
That's scary. But
yeah.
they did it to themselves.
All right. Well, enough on that. I mean, I don't know. I don't think any of us, three of us, are be playing Destiny 2 anytime soon. So we'll see. So
Mm-mm.
I always romanticize going back to the game, especially with that new, hey, all your old stuff in the vault is usable now. But it's like, yeah, no.
I mean, you can do that. That's totally fine.
I don't think I'll be going back to Destiny 2. It's like you
Yeah.
said, Des, count to three, but I don't think they're going to be able to count to three. So we'll see what they do. So.
Hmm.
All right, and we're going to round up news with some announcements and release dates. So THQ recently had a little announcement slash a little like unveiling trailers and so on and so forth. So they have announced a sequel to Wreckfest. Wreckfest 2 is in development by Bugbear Entertainment. It's going to be released out for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC via Steam. And so basically they are looking to basically take things to 10 compared to Wreckfest 1. So I'll have to see as far as how they reinvent the wheel with Wreckfest 2, but I enjoyed the time I had with Wreckfest 1. So I mean, I'm hoping this being engineered for current gen consoles now might I'm definitely interested. I don't know about you guys, but
I thought the first Wreck Fest was fun. I never finished it, but I thought it was a decent arcade racer for sure.
I thought it was great. I
yeah.
actually, when you told me they were coming out the second one, I was like, what? Like, I honestly, to tell you the God's honest truth, I did not think that we were going to get another one. I thought this was like something that just happened, and you just got to be happy that it was there. And I was like, sweet, let's go.
Oh, I kind of remember because the original Wreckfest was released early access on Steam, and I bought it like a long time ago, and it took a long time for them Bugbear to kind of get it to final release, and so I thought I just wasted my money when I bought the Kickstarter for Wreckfest. So I'm grateful that they eventually got the game out, and so I'm cool. Grateful with the Wreckfest too. I know THQ announced another game from the Burnout developers called Recreation, which we have not seen one lick of as of late. So I'm kind of curious what's going on with that game. But I'll take Wreckfest 2 in the meantime. So now another game that was teased during the THQ Nordic showcase was a teaser trailer for a new Darksiders game. So THQ Nordic and developer Gunfire Games are working on a new game in the Darksiders series. The company's announced. So we'll probably see more details probably going towards Gamescom or possibly at Tokyo Game Show. You never know. We'll have to see what's in the mix. But it's kind of cool to see that Darksiders is still being worked on. I think it's a good, not AAA, but like AA franchise. It's good games overall. We'll have to see if it's going to be like a more mainline game. I know that the Gunfire worked on that Darksiders Genesis game, the one where you play as co-op. So I'm just kind of curious as far as what they're going to do in the series and kind of go from there. I know, Des, you kind of enjoyed Darksiders in the past, right?
Yeah. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. Yeah. I was kind of like, what? When you told me about it, I was like, okay.
One more time to the well. And it's not airships in the kit, obviously, but I mean, I think Gunfire Games have some staff that came from Airship, if I'm not mistaken. So, and these are the same people that have done also the Remnant series. So kind of give it up to Gunfire on there. They actually Gunfire worked and developed Darksiders 3 as well. So we have to kind of give it up, and they'll probably pick up the ball then from there. From that, Kev, any comments on new Darksiders or Wreckfest 2?
Well, Wreckfest, I've already said I thought the first one was cool.
Yeah.
Darksiders, I remember I can't remember if it was the first or second one. The developer said that they had an idea for one game focusing on each of the four horsemen, with the last game kind of being the final in that saga, tying all the stories together. Now that is, what the long-term plans for it. And of course, staff has changed and people have left, and, studios have dissolved and reformed under THQ and all that stuff. So however all that works out is probably not the original plan, but it would be kind of nice to see at least an aspect of that original idea behind the Darksiders series be able to be played out. So hopefully this could, if not a one-to-one for that original plan, maybe at least touch on the high points of that aspect with folks who may still have an idea of what that original idea was supposed to be.
Yeah, I think if what's being stated is that this game might focus on Strife, because that's the only one of the four horsemen, I guess, that hadn't had their own game.
No, they never had it.
Yeah.
Strife never had it. He was a part of Generations, or that one Genesis, and it was him in War. Yeah. So I think a shooter, an action shooter type of games with him, because he used dual pistols. I think a game like with that would be really kind of cool. So I'm actually kind of excited for it. If that's the one they're doing.
Yeah.
I wonder if it would be Doom inspired then at that point, if he's running around with guns.
It's more like Overhead, I think, or third person versus first person. So a little bit different. Next thing that was announced, Avowed, I guess, was giving a fall release date. Microsoft did push it back to 2025, but actually they delayed it and gave it an actual release date. So Obsidian's going to be releasing Avowed on February 18th, 2025. On there, it'll be out on Xbox Series and PC via Steam and Microsoft Store, as well as Xbox Game Pass. No PlayStation version as of yet, of course. So, but according to what was stated, is that they pushed it back because Microsoft's release schedule is packed for the remainder of this year. I don't know if that's the case or whether they just need more time to make this thing cook a little bit more. But they basically, Phil Spencer said in a tweet, "We are proud of what Obsidian Entertainment has accomplished with Avowed and want to make sure that they have the best launch possible. We look forward to you enjoying it along with the rest of our lineup of games and updates coming this year and beyond." What a wonderful statement. Probably you can look to see if AI wrote that one or not. So. But Des, are you ready to kick rocks because Avowed got pushed to 2025, or let them cook? Des?
Sorry, I was on mute. Let them cook. That's all I have to say is let them cook. They need to cook, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah. I'm cool with it too. You think this will be a day one PlayStation launch? You think, Des, or maybe sometime in the summer? You think?
Yeah, I would hope so, because if it's coming out on everything, then yeah, I'll definitely pick it up.
All right, and
I mean, it'll be the game that will bring me back to my my
Series
Xbox,
S. Yeah,
a Series S, because I just want to see how it looks. I know it's gonna look god awful, but I want to look at it. I want to see it. I'm gonna look at it. I want to smile at it, and I want to know that it's terrible. I just want to be like, ugh, on my potato. That's what I know. That's just already what I know is gonna happen. This is gonna be bad. So.
All right, and then also shown at the THQ Nordic show, they had a new trailer for Titan Quest 2 on there. So Titan Quest 2 basically is going back to the old action RPG world of Greek mythology on here. And so, yeah, I mean, both me and Des enjoyed the original Titan Quest and its expansions quite a bit on there, and it might be a game that maybe action RPG players are looking for that is not so grimdark like Diablo 4 or Path of Exile, that you could actually kill a bunch of Greek soldiers instead of zombies and whatnot. So I always enjoy Titan Quest. Titan Quest is one of my favorite ARPGs. All that procedurally generated loot. Trailer looks great, so
Hell yeah,
can't wait to kind of play it. I mean, I'm hoping the developer that's working on it, because the original Titan Quest developers basically became Crate Entertainment and have been releasing Grim Dawn for the last few years. So
good for them. Yeah. I really just hope that they're able to get it onto PlayStation, because I honestly believe that it is just dying where they are now. So
yeah,
please,
and that's Titan's Quest. Crate has long since left Titan Quest over to THQ and whatever development team that's been working on that.
And I get it, but I want them to come back.
I wish it'd be cool.
All's forgiven. Come on.
A lot of the team that worked on Titan Quest Atlantis and Titan Quest Ragnarok are the same ones that are working on Titan Quest 2. They're helping to develop that. So, I mean, they got a good pedigree as far as working on the franchise. So we'll have to see as far as, if it comes to fruition. It's been announced for a while. So I just want to see it come out and we'll kind of go from there. I'm going to correct myself. The team working on Titan Quest 2 is a developer named Grimlore Games, and they've worked on the Spellforce series previously. So, and I think from I remember you, Des, you didn't really like Spellforce 3 all that much, right?
I did not. I did not. I was like, really? This is what we're doing? Yeah, I did not like that.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So. But that is the Jabroni Gaming News for this episode.
All right, so that's going to bring us into game night, and we got a new day of the week coming in, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So that is the new day, same time, but the new day. It's a new day of the week that we choose, that we're going to set aside to play with our growing Discord community family. So if any of what we talked about sounds good, and if you would like to find an online space that is not going to shut you down with personal insults simply because of your choices in gaming or your position in gaming, all aspects and all viewpoints are respected. They are debated in a friendly atmosphere, but you're not going to find that toxicity that you're finding on X and other much larger social media platforms. So if any of that sounds good to you, all you need to do is head on over to the app formerly known as Twitter, currently known as X.
X.
And you head on over to @GamingVessels, GamingVessels. You click the link in the bio and you're in. So we're not trying to hawk you any merch, and we don't have a Patreon tier list to pay for. Again, we just ask that you be a decent person that likes talking about video games. And if you meet that criteria, I think you will find a very nice home in our growing Discord community. So special shout outs go out to Crucial Chase, VB, and John BT for responding to this episode's Vessel Line. Thank you very much for your input, because it just makes these episodes just a little bit more interactive, a little bit more fun, a little more thought gets to be put into the topic, and we have you, our community, to thank for that. So special shout out to you fine folks. So that is going to bring episode 255 to a close. We want to thank you for hanging out, cooling out, chilling out without a doubt with us this episode. So for Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Lover.
That's me.
a.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that Gamer Stepdaddy, and for Trader Joe, a.k.a. Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. I am Shonoff71, a.k.a. Digadulamite.
That purple bling bling, y'all, if I could pronounce that properly. Thank you.
You're doing the best you can.
We'll be back next week. Episode 256 for your ear holes. Peace.